Hello. Ugh, I haven't been having allergies lately or something. I don't know what it is, but like itchy nose. And maybe other people are experiencing it too. I'm not sure. I mean, I've just been attributing everything to like ascension symptoms lately. Not everything, but I twisted my ankle not too long ago. Falling off of a, what do you call it? Well, I did really well for like an hour on this thing called a, oh God, my face is melty. What is it called? What are they called, boo-boo? Anyway, it's like a tightrope, but it's not. It's slack lines. It's a slack line, but it kind of works like it's like a tightrope kind of thing. So I was doing really well for about an hour on this tightrope or slack line down at on Carrillo Boulevard, and as this young man had it, really cute young man, like nice person. Stop me, please. And so I was doing really well for about an hour, and then I fell off, and I twisted my ankle pretty badly. I've only twisted my ankle like maybe 3 times in my life, so not something I'm really used to doing, and it's made life like more challenging, I would say, on top of everything else. But today, or for about the last week, I had to replace my debit card because there was some weird charge on my iTunes account. So I changed my debit card just to be sure until I could get in touch with Apple support and figure out where that charge came from. If it came from my iPad or from my phone, because I've had a lot of security issues, a lot of stalking, a lot of crap going on. And after everything that happened in Napomo with the house up there, and the house being stolen from Mr. Murphy and from me, I'm just not willing to risk it anymore. So I see something weird, and so anyway, with Chase Bank, it's been a nightmare just getting one card back, and in their not defense, but to obviously be balanced in what I'm saying. The vice president of the branch person, nice man, Stephen Collins, nice person, like a kind person, like a thoughtful, considerate person. But originally there were like 4 debit cards assigned, 3 or 4 assigned to that account, and they had all been ordered. I only ordered 1. I went into the branch and ordered it, so I don't know how those other ones. I did make one other call to the 800 number for Chase, but the call was disconnected because I was up on the mountain, and it cut the call out, so I couldn't. Anyway, and I didn't want to call back. I had already been on hold for about an hour at that point. My love, oh my God! Every time I turn on the video camera, she does this. You're just the cutest thing I've ever seen. I love you so much. Thank you so much, Missy Waggy Tail. You're so cute. And do you want to come sit in my lap or something? Like, what do you want? Here, come up here. Come up here with me. Okay. I mean, that doesn't really work, but okay. Anyhow. Mia, come on. Mimi. Excuse me. Mia, come on now. Go on, Mamoo. So we've been having a lot of trouble with our brakes. Pardon the dog interruption. But honestly, if you mind, I probably wouldn't like you anyway, because she's my best friend. So, I don't know if that's blowing on the camera or what. The vent, Anyhow, let's write it down. So, and yes, I quit smoking for a while. I still smoke sometimes. Sue me. Whatever. So anyway, when we don't trust people, it's not about having trauma responses, or at least for me, it's not about having trauma responses. It's not about being triggered necessarily, although sometimes I do get triggered by people's BS. It's more about like, are you trustworthy? Are you capable of handling the amount of trust that I'm willing to give? That's where I'm coming from. And most people, the answer is a resounding no. They're not. So, you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm a very genuine, authentic person, and you know, I get misunderstood a lot. I've been misunderstood a lot in my life, but that remains other people's misperception. You know, not my lack of explanation or any of that. So, you know, I know that. Stop. I want you to stop. It's like too much. But like, you know, you really like. I mean, I can just suggest that once you've healed yourself, once you've healed yourself, you know, and once, you know, when somebody's actually healed through and through, and I don't mean just like partially, I mean through and through healed. And I have enormous amounts of empathy for people who are not. But like, one thing I want to say is, when you're around people who are unhealed, people who are still operating in toxic paradigms and things like that, and going through karmic cycles and all of that, you're gonna run into obstacles. You're gonna run into people being jealous of you. You're gonna run into people wanting to even be you. And I mean, like, for me, that's a trip, because what? Like, all my family's dead. Like, you have no idea what I've been through. Like, you have no idea. Even if you knew my whole story, you still wouldn't know. It's I mean, even for me, and I'm the one who went through it, it's like, I you know, part of me I still shake my head at that and just, what? Like, that happened? Yeah, that all happened. It all happened like crazy. So, you know, when you know you're not operating out of trauma responses, when you know that you're healed, when you know that, stop, when you know you've done all the work, spiritual, mental, emotional, and even physical. Oh my God, you're going on a timeout, Missy. That'd be so much. She's so cute. It's hard to be cross with her because she's so cute. It's hard. It's difficult. Oh my God, stop. Oh. Stop. But, you know, when you know you're not coming from that place and people still are dedicated to misunderstanding you, let it go. Let it go. You know, people want to think and say and do, and they're going to do and say and think whatever they want anyway. You know, very few people have the self-discipline or the mental fortitude or the emotional constitution to withstand that kind of questioning and presumption, you know, amount of presumptions based on maybe, you know, an article they read about you, or maybe a background check or something like that. You know, there are very few people who know me. And I mean, there might be one person who knows me fairly well, but not really even, you know, like, certain things that person knows about me, but not anything else. And other than that, I've changed so drastically, even from last year, that, you know, I don't recognize certain parts of myself. And it's not that I changed so much as I started acting on the things that I knew about. I started using the skills that I had. I started giving myself the credit for being the kind of person that I am. And, you know, a lot of it started with the accident on the 154, because, you know, that was when I actually got acknowledged for being the person that I've always been. And I know a lot of people do things. They save lives. They help save lives. I mean, I helped, but, you know, a lot of people do a lot of things every day, and they're unsung heroes. And so, you know, I realized how special it was for me to be recognized for something I did. Like, you know, publicly recognized. It's amazing. You know, it's amazing. Nothing short of amazing. And, you know, after what I had gone through last summer with, you know, the short stint of, you know, non-sobriety, it was horrible. And, And then, you know, like, I mean, and, you know, like really lowering myself and my life and putting myself and my dog in danger to the point where, like, and I was just trying to get help for us. Like, how awful is that? It's pretty freaking awful. So, anyway, I still haven't received my debit card in the bank. I can't pay my car insurance right now. And it's not because I don't have the money. It's because I don't have a card, and they only accept debit cards or credit cards over the phone. Like, I mean, not over the phone, but online, you know, because the business, like the offices are closed on the weekends. So, I mean, I had this all squared away. I had it, you know, the debit card would have come in yesterday at the latest. You know, it was actually delivered on Wednesday, but it was sent to the wrong address. Because I don't like to procrastinate with things. I don't like to wait. You know, I grew up with that, waiting to the last minute, 11th hour kind of thing. And yeah, no, it's never, it always worked out, but it was like this, we were always rushing, and I don't really like that. Although I'm good at rushing, I don't really want to do that unless I have to, you know? So, and after having the house stolen and everything else, and I never really spoke up about it as a thing. I mean, I did to people, like individuals, but nobody took my side on it. Nobody, literally no one. And not only that, but I was called crazy, you know. And I mean, this is after I had been through like 3 years of gang stalking from the house up north in Nipomo. Stop right now. You know, that threw me for a loop. And on top of stop now, you're being a pill. That on top of all the grief that I was already experiencing. Stop, Mia, stop. And things like that. It was incredibly difficult, and at times it was impossible. It was. All I could do is breathe sometimes. There were times when all I could do was just take my next... Stop, Mimi, please. Stop. Stop, Momo, please stop. Please, honey. Stop. I'm asking you like several times now. Sit, Mia. Stop. Sit down, honey. Sit. Please. Lovey. We don't usually have disagreements. It's like whenever I turn on the camera, she doesn't like it. I don't know. Anyhow, so I still have, you know, about the car insurance, it's going to be canceled. Stop. Please stop, Mamu. So, it's going to be canceled. I already made arrangements for it to last like another 2 days, I think. And, you know, my car insurance broker, they can't make it go, like they can't delay the payment anymore. So, there's nothing I can do right now. Like, there's nothing I can do, no matter of stressing or, you know. I went back into the branch, and the branch vice president was like very kind to me and had a bunch of fees reversed and shit like that. Excuse my language, but I really, like, you know, it's things like this that I just, you know, I don't have anyone. I mean, I can think of 2 people I can ask to put it on their debit card or credit card, and I can give them the money, you know. But other than that, it's things like this that, you know, it's hard. It's not easy. It's not even simple most of the time. You know, I went, I called the 800 number yesterday, and the bank representative that I talked to, she was laughing so hard she could barely speak to me, and I was like, are you stoned or something? Like, I don't understand what's wrong right now. And even, I don't care if you're stoned or not, like, no judgment. You know, I use pot sometimes too. I use marijuana sometimes too, but, you know, like, can you do your job? Can you function? Like, you know, anyway. And it's stuff like that that just makes daily life, like, so much more difficult than it actually needs to be. So then I find out that there were actually 3 cards assigned to my bank account. What? I only had 1, and none of them should have been active. So we canceled the other 2. The other one's still in the mail. I have, like I said, there's 2 people I can ask to put that payment on, like, a debit card or a credit card, and I can give them the money, but I don't have time to send in. I don't have time to send in the payment in a check form, because, you know, I waited, and even not waiting, like, the card should have still come through, and you know, should have come through the mail, but it's not there. I mean, I don't even have a mailing address to use. And the one mailing address that I was using, that person is just not a nice person. I mean, I think they're like a good person, but I don't think they're not kind. They're not gentle. They're not healed. They're very unhealed and living in a very toxic dynamic. So, you know, like, yeah, no, I'm not. You know, it's not like it's lack of planning or, you know, like whatever on my part. You know, I don't have a credit card. I haven't had a credit card since I lost my business, and which I still like owe, how do you think, like almost $5,000 on. It's over 4,000. I don't know how much it is exactly, but I shut the business down. You know, I lost everything, and now I'm also in debt because of it. I know I didn't pay it off because when I had the GoFundMe account, yeah, no, I mean, that wasn't on the top of my priorities, was paying my debts. You know what I mean? Like, the bank can handle it for now until I can pay them. And it's not like I'm not proud of that or anything. And at the same time, you know, if you're unwilling to understand why, you know, out of 30 grand, I didn't want to pay 5,000 of it to a credit card, you know, debt that really wasn't my fault. It was identity theft on my credit card. You know, that's your lack of understanding, not my lack of explanation. So anyway, the car is having serious issues with the brakes. Now, all I can really show, like on camera, is the lights. The traction control's off, the ABS light is on, and the brake light keeps flashing. These three, the windshield wiper fluid, the airbag, and the seatbelt light, they flash all the time because, they're on all the time now because of, I replaced the seat from the car fire. There's still damage here, so you can see I replaced the seat. I had that burnt seat in my car for 4 months before I could find an assembled seat. I thought I might have to like piece out a seat and then like have to assemble it myself. No joke. And, you know, between that and the crappy advice I received, to commit insurance fraud. Like, thank God I'm not an, dishonest person. Like, I'm not saying I've never lied before, but come on, really? Yeah, no, I don't lie about things I could go to prison for. And, you know, like I said, I don't have any proof, but I do suspect that the dealership knew exactly what was going on and, you know, covered their ass kind of thing. And, you know, but I mean, I am an energy worker. I have been my entire life, and I love God very much. I'm wholeheartedly a Christian woman, not the religion, the spiritual part of it, because religion is just another system of control, and I know that. But I read my word regularly. I pray regularly. I meditate regularly, and I hang out with my dog, obviously. Exercising too. That's been fabulous. It's just been really great. The only thing that's made it a little bit more difficult to do is the warm weather. So I have to either work out in the middle of the night. Stop, meow. Or I have to get up super, super early in the morning, which I usually do. I'm usually up with the dawn anyway. So I love you. Stop. Stop, meow. It's just water in a bottle. It's my pest spray. So anyway, I've got material for days. So anyhow, I've been thinking about, offering my services to people for energy work. Stop now. You're out of control. Stop. Energy work, Kundalini clearing, energy field clearing. I mean, all of these things. Tarot cards. I mean, you name it. I'm a medium. I'm a channel. Psychic, whatever you call it, like all of the above. And I always have been. I've been a dream interpreter since I was a young girl. And I'm really good at it, is the thing. I've always been really good at these things, but I didn't ever really offer my services outside of like my witchy friends, because people who are in the Christian faith, I wouldn't say the Christian faith, the Christian religion, are told that tarot cards, any kind of divination, it's all sorcery, it's all evil. And I get where you're coming from. I totally do. 100%. I mean, I've spent 44 years of my life not pursuing my God-given gifts because I was told that they're bad. Yeah, they're not, though. When God gives you something so clearly and definitively righteous, and so clearly and definitively helpful, healing, and powerfully aligned with the Most High. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, if I were misusing it, that would be a different story. But when you're using it to help people and heal people, heal yourself and help yourself, and I mean in a lasting fashion, not in a fashion that's just like, oh, we'll get through the day. You know, I'll help you like win this lotto ticket or something like that. You know, like lasting things where people can actually take that, and it's spiritual food. You know, it's the manna, it's the it's the meat, you know, it's the important part of the meal kind of thing. It's the fulfilling, deeply ingrained, positive frequency and vibe that people are on, and it's that people want to be on. And, you know, so it's an extraordinary, stop, Bella, please. It's an extraordinary gift to be able to give people, and it's an extraordinary gift to be able to give people. And, you know, the people that I've helped, I've channeled a lot of people's dead relatives, mothers, fathers, husbands, wives. People were coming to me a lot when I was a live broadcaster, and I you know, a lot of them were older than me, and I would ask them, you know, what is it that I do for you? Why do you keep coming back to me? You know, like, what is it? Because I wanted to know. Yeah, but you offer perspective, you know, you give a way of looking at things that's different, that's helpful, that's useful, that's healing. And so, you know, I took that, and I didn't really think much of it for a while because, you know, like I said, I was busy, like not dying, going through enormous amounts of depression, anxiety, grief, trauma, and you name it, everything else. Being told I wasn't good enough, being told I was a piece of crap, being treated like a piece of crap, and everything else. You know, I really went through it hard, big time. Like, I was really put through it. And rather than, you know, let the fire burn me up, I let it refine me. That was my goal. I mean, I've had a long lifetime pursuit of wisdom and grace. Those are the two things I've always sought after and not coveted, but wanted more than anything else. I didn't want it from anyone else. I knew it would only come from one source, and that source would be, you know, the Most High God. So, you know, it's an important distinction to make, because a lot of people, you know, will hear that and think, well, you know, I'm not really sure about that. It sounds like a bunch of woo-woo bullshit. And it's not. It's just not. I'm not into woo-woo crap that's illogical and, you know, without analytical and critical thought applied to it. What use is that? I mean, you know, anybody can stand out and, you know, with their, you know, everybody can, like, you know, put themselves out there and speculate. But I mean, these are like proven things that I could prove to people. 23 on the clock when I said that I can do, and things I have already done multiple times, not only for myself but for other people. Excuse me. And so, you know, I posted an update on my GoFundMe page because, frankly, I'm tired of eating crap and having my dog eat crap, because, you know, I want to keep quiet and I want to preserve what little bit. No, I'm going to speak out, especially when I know I'm in the right, especially when I know I didn't do anything. And what I was accused of doing wasn't only not fair, but it wasn't true. Like, if you don't like being called out on your lies, then don't lie to me. Yeah, I never asked to be a walking, talking human lie detector, ever. Never. I never asked for that. Never. So, you know, when it falls into my lap, you know, I'm not gonna, itchy nose again. I'm not going to, you know, just sit on it and, you know, sit on my hands and just be like, oh, well, you know, I want to be nice. Well, sure. But, like, you know, and I do want to be kind. But, you know, sometimes being kind is speaking out, is telling exactly what happened. And whether that's beautiful or not, pretty, ugly, whatever, you know, whatever in between, it has to be done. And, like, when people are not willing to do that and they tiptoe around the truth, look, let me tell you something about the truth. And it's something about me, too. The truth will never, ever change itself to fit into this world. Never. Ever. Never. The truth will never trade its authenticity for approval. Never. And also, the truth doesn't care if it's liked. Doesn't give a beep. Not at all. We don't care. Not even a little bit. So, when trying to manipulate somebody who is a truth sayer, who is a powerful energy worker, and has been her whole life, someone who understands their own worth, their own value, somebody who loves themselves, loves the world, not the world, but the people in it. And I do love this place. I'm in the world, I'm not of the world. They're very different. But when you understand as many things as I do, how to tune your chakras, how to clear energy, and how to ground constantly and consistently and reliably, and how to maintain those states of consciousness without any effort at all. It's completely natural to me. A lot of people, would literally kill and or pay a lot of money or time or effort. Time is actually worth more than money because you can't ever get that back. But when people invest in those things, you start to see how valuable it really is to others. And so if anyone needs any work done, even if you just need a tarot card reading, or maybe you just want one, I'm here. But I do a lot of other things too, including aligning chakras and Kundalini awakening. What's the other one? What do they call it? Anyhow, all of that I do. And I pray, meditate. I have a very strong relationship and pure relationship with the Most High God. End of story. And no, I'm not a preacher, although I can minister to people. I have an excellent understanding of God's Word, and I channel the Holy Spirit clearly, efficiently, and in useful ways that are full of purpose. And practical ways, ways that you can apply to your everyday life. It's not some, buy some sage and 5 different other herbs that you probably only use once, and then burn this, and then bury that, and then, what? Yeah, no, you don't need to do any of that. Say a prayer, light a candle if you want, and go on about your day, but do it with intention. If you're not doing it intentionally, I hear people talking about setting intentions and manifesting, and I rarely hear anyone talk about creating, except for some of the tarot card readers I listen to on YouTube. Rarely do I hear anyone talk about creating. Everybody's manifest. I'm like, do you understand? I'm talking about highly intelligent, professional people who are getting paid top dollar for the work that they're doing, and yet they still don't make the distinction between manifestation and creation. Look, manifestation is taking something else that somebody else created that's already in the world, okay, and creation is obviously creating by definition. So you need to decide what you want to do. Do you want to manifest, or do you want to create? Most people want to be authentic. Well, not everybody, but I do. And so I'm excellent at both of those things, manifestation and creation. So you might be asking yourself the question, well, why are you homeless then? Good question. Well, we're still looking for home, aren't we? It's not just any place, and frankly, I carry my home with me everywhere I go. It's called my heart. And so I don't feel this horrible urgency to be out of the car. Is it difficult? Of course it is. Is it certain things about it are just hard and almost freaking impossible? Yeah. Yep. Right on the nose. You got that one. However, if I will compromise all the day long with people, for whatever is needed, things like that. But I will not compromise myself. Yeah, no, definitely not doing that. I've done that way too much in my life, and frankly, it's another distinction that most people don't make, is the difference between compromising with a person and compromising yourself for a person. Very different things. So when keeping that in mind, I simply will not compromise myself. No, I won't do that. I worked far too hard to be the kind of person that I am, to be the same person who was up on the 154 that night and helped save a man's life. He lost his leg. He was not, it was serious. It was very serious. Anyhow, But, you know, I'm that person. I am that person. I'm not some fraud, some fake that, you know, got a one-time hit and then, you know, you never hear from me again. No, I am, you know, it's not like, you know, I wasn't seeking that attention anyway. You know, it came to me. And frankly, we needed the help at that time, and I needed that boost of, you know, confidence and everything else. And, you know, even though the relationship with Subaru turned out to be boo-boo, really though, yeah, right? I mean, I'm sure, you know, I'm not going to say that in public though, because I can't prove it. And I just really would rather not say that unless I can actually prove it. But to know, and I'm quite certain, I suspect very distinctly that the dealership knew what was going on. And to take somebody like that, who was, you know, who was genuinely doing the work, who was genuinely working on themselves, who was dedicated to her dog and dedicated to living a life of honor, integrity, and justice for herself and as many people around her as she could get it for, that's fucked up. I mean, it's just fucked. Like, what? You know, I mean, think about if I were a less honest, you know, say, you know, 20, 30, you know, it's a young person who, you know, had no experience and didn't know better. That could have landed me in prison. Are you kidding me? What? Like, you know, so, I mean, right? I mean, wow, that's a big deal. And when you're willing to, I mean, you know, that person from Subaru, I can't stop. Please. When that person from Subaru told me that, of course, you know, I immediately said back to them, you know, yeah, fucking right. I'm not doing that. You crazy? The conversation, or the text conversation, which I have, it was, you know, I came back at them with, you know, what in the world are you even talking about? Telling me to lie, telling me to commit insurance fraud. Wouldn't, you know, wouldn't it suck if the car company you work for, you know, knew about this? And he came back at me with, oh, so you plan on threatening me? I'm like, no, I don't. But why are you saying that? I'm sure it's actually, you know, if you're coming back at me and you're projecting that onto me, I'm sure it's probably not the first time that somebody's threatened to tell the truth on you. But maybe they just simply didn't have the integrity to do it with. Well, I do. And I also have the balls to do it. Like, it's not even a competition, man. I am who I am. And you just can't fade that. You just can't. You can throw all kinds of dirt and mud and everything else on it, but the moment I wash it off, I'm still as bright and shiny as I was the day I was born. Like, you know, seriously, come on now. Gross. Don't be gross. Don't be weird. Ugh. Gross. Seriously, like, that's freaky behavior. Like, what in the actual fuck? So anyway, don't compromise yourselves for other people. Don't do it. Compromise with people, but only when they're compromising with you, when you know that it's not, you know, it's not just one-sided, and you'll know in your heart, especially if you're healed. You know, always be kind to the people around you, even if they are unhealed. Just be kind. It just, you know, kindness begets more kindness. Bullshit begets more bullshit. Kind of like dogs have sex with dogs. You know, they get with other dogs and they make what? More dogs, you know. So it's important, you know, when you compromise yourself, you know, by trusting other people that simply aren't worth trusting. They're just not. You know, it's not even a judgment. It's about doing what's right for you. You know, at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live in your head. You're the one who has to lay down on your pillow or your bed or the backseat of your car, or wherever you're laying down, a bench seat, whatever, and, you know that you did as best as you could for that day with every person that you came into contact with. I mean, I snapped at one of the tellers at the bank, or one of the bankers the other day, and I mean, my first response was like, oh my God, you know, because I felt him, like, you know, recoil it, because all I said was, what? You know, but I said it with that energy, and I can project my energy, you know. It's intense, and, you know, I was highly frustrated in that moment. So, you know, my first reaction was to apologize, of course, because why wouldn't I? I didn't mean to direct that at him, and I you know, I'm not usually around other people when I'm so frustrated, so I'm able to, you know, contain myself a little better. And, you know, in that moment I wasn't, and I apologized for it immediately. So, before he could even say anything. So, and, you know, those things come back to you, and it's worth, you know, even if you're being pushed down and told that you're a liar, or told that you're wrong, or told that maybe you're even, you know, like not a good person because of the gifts that you have, or the, you know, the things that you can do, you know, especially when they're God-given gifts. They're not like things that you necessarily tried to create for yourself. It was just there, you know, you had this gift, you know, like whether you're an athlete, or, you know, an exceptionally powerful spiritual worker, or whatever it is, you know, a great swimmer, a great, you know, like I'm having like super itchy nose, like, why? Oh, sorry. You know, whatever it is that you're gifted at doing, and you know it's a God-given gift, like it was natural, you were given that gift. You don't go with that. Don't listen to anyone. Don't let them tell you you have to do this, you have to do that. That's not the truth. The truth is you have to live with yourself. And even long after your parents are dead and gone, and all the kind of things, and your friends, and maybe even family members just, you know, gone, you and me and everyone else, we all have to live with ourselves. There's nobody else living up here, just us. There's nobody else living here in your heart, just us. So, you know, keeping that in mind, you know, be true to yourself, be honest with yourself. You know, you can't always expect honesty out of other people, but you can always expect it out of yourself. You know, and the amount of self-deception I see going on in our world right now is so concentrated. It's a mess. And I see all of that, but like, I refuse to operate out of fear. Yeah, no way. Yeah, I'll take faith over fear any day. And the Lord doesn't give me the spirit of fear, but of power, peace, and a sound mind. You know, come on, like that's God's word. You know, when you put on your full armor, you know, the full armor of God every day, and you've read your word, and you're standing strong in your truth, don't be moved. Don't budge, not even an inch. There's no reason to. So, you know, whoever is watching this message, you know, when you have to stand up, and nobody believes in you, and people are talking badly behind your back, and people hate you, and you don't even know why, and they envy you, and you really don't know why, because they must be delusional, because they like want something that would probably kill them anyway. And you know, I've lost everything and everyone multiple times over, and yet still I'm sitting right here right now, and I could honestly say that if I died in this moment, I would be one of the happiest people ever. True story. And when you can say that and feel the joy in your heart and the pride that swells up, and because you know you did the work, kudos to you, because it's so hard. It's so hard, and so few people get there. So many people are so controlled by media, and their minds are controlled. They're literally plugged into the matrix, and they don't know any other way. They're unhealed, and for whatever reason, they choose to stay that way. So, you know, challenge yourself on a daily basis. Challenge yourself to have the discipline and the fortitude of, you know, of mind and heart to do it. You know, don't just talk about it. Like plenty of people talk, and that's all they do is talk. You know, they might do half of what they say they do. But when you are a person of integrity, and you are all that you preach to be, yeah, that hits differently. It just does. It just does in every way. And there's nothing anyone could ever do to take it from you. Ever. Never. They could even take your life, and still they couldn't manage to even take one thimbleful of what you are, of your essence. So stand tall, stand hard in your truth, and don't back down. Don't compromise yourself. You compromise with people, but you never compromise yourself. And I'm going to keep driving this car and hopefully make it work. I don't know how. I don't know where. I don't know when. I don't know any of those things. I don't know from who. We need some help. And honestly, I mean, I love my car. And I love our lifestyle. I really do. Like, I'm tired of living in my car. I'm tired. You know, out of all the people in this town, we don't have one place to go to stay, you know, and stay the night. Not one place. Not even one. no friends. Hey, So, I mean, we have people we're friendly with, and there is one family that's helped us. Although that family has also been equally full of spiritual warfare. Like, I don't even know how else to put it. That family has got all types of problems. Of course, every family does, but like, wow. When I'm on that property, it's enormous amounts of spiritual warfare. I don't know if those people are aware. But anyway, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But it is affecting them all the same, and I've seen it with my own eyes. I felt it. Yeah. And there's a spirit of strife there, big time. And wherever there is fear, anger, bitterness, resentment, confusion, there is every evil thing. I'm not even kidding about that either. Not even, So stand hard in your truth. I support you. I believe in you. Even if no one else does. Believe in yourself and know that you have a friend in me. You have someone who will pray with you and for you in me. You have someone who will think about you in positive ways, regardless of what anybody's ever said about you, in me. And maybe we don't really know each other. But that doesn't really matter. Does it really matter? If you just know that somebody really believes in you. Does it matter if I actually know who you are? Probably not. So don't give up. Don't lay down. Don't roll over. Don't compromise yourself. Compromise with. You don't compromise for. Don't compromise yourself. Don't compromise your essence. I don't care who you are. Anyone from, top tier, top-notch celebrity to, bottom shelf car salesman. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm lying. I'm not sorry. Really stand hard in your truth and don't ever, ever fail yourself. Don't ever give up on yourself. Because really, the best investment I ever made was in myself, was working on myself and doing the really hard work, the really dark shadow work. Yeah. Wow. It's worth it. You're worth it. So, when you're looking around, you're like, I don't really have any friends. You're looking around, you're like, yeah, I don't really get along with my family. Let alone personally, I don't have any family, but, things like that. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. The world is in a weird place right now. And it's not really functional for people who are not brave as fuck. So, hang in there. And don't give up. Don't ever give up on yourself. Never. Anyway, I don't know who needed to hear that, but I needed to hear it. I needed to say it. And so I thank you for listening and thank you for hanging in there. Boo Boo, thank you for hanging in there. And we'll talk to you. She's so cute. Look at you. Look at you. Baboo. Dinkum but mess. Oh, mamoo. Dinkum. Stop creeping. You're creeping. Stop creeping. All right. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. No one's going to do it for us. Love, blessings, and compassion to everyone.